Hello, my name's John, this is my Necromunda Ash Waste Enforcer gang, and you're watching Wargames, Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm finishing up some models I started quite a while ago. I'll leave links to the previous videos in the description. But I'm currently working on my Necromunda Ash Waste Enforcer gang. And I've still got to make a few bits and pieces, but I want to finish off the builds on each of the main parts. So the first thing I've got here is the Venator. As you can see, the turret's all done with the, I think they're the heavy concussion cannons, but I've still got to sort out the driver and put some stowage on. I've also decided that when I come to painting this, I'm going to actually have all of the items based on this one, because I want to make them kind of a bit of a showpiece gang. So first thing first, I'm going to do a bit of a head swap on the driver, and I have here the female head from one of the Cadian sprues, which I'm going to trim and put onto the flat neck plate of the Enforcer. So my idea with this gang is that there's a few kind of key vehicles, not many people on foot, so they're kind of like a rapid response team. So let's shave this down a little bit more. So the Venator has the concussion cannons on it, and it's kind of like the hard hitter. I've got the Wolfquad, which is almost like a mobile turret, which I've got to finish off today as well, which I'll show you in a second. I've got the Automata, which is like a kind of a battering ram that's supported by the few guys that are going to be on foot. So there we have that female head on the driver. So let's just pop that in. I'm not going to glue the roll cage down until I've actually got to the painting stage on this one, because I want to make sure that I can paint all of the details where needed. So I want to put 2 bits of stowage on this one. So I've been having a look at where to kind of place them, and on all of the vehicles in this gang, the stowage is what's going to kind of tie everything together. I'm just going to quickly look at the instruction booklet at how it kind of fits on, and it looks like it does just hook on the top of the armor plate like that. So let's just dab a little bit of glue in place on that one, because I'm happy with where that one's sitting. Make sure I position it exactly where I want it to be. And then what I'm going to do is look underneath it to anywhere that's touching other bits of plastic, and I'm just going to run some glue in there to help fix that in place. I then got this smaller bag that I'm going to put on this side. Now I think what I'm going to do is actually move it further towards the back. Let's have a look. Where's it kind of fit nice? Or do I put it all on the same side? I mean, I could put it on the same side, but no, I'm going to put it on this side. And what I'm going to try and do is make it as symmetrical as possible. It's catching just there at the moment, so what I will do is just shave a little bit off the bottom of it So at time of filming of this, recently there's been the announcement of Hive Secondus, which looks like a really interesting addition to Necromunda. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's being released with that alongside the main game. Obviously, if there's been more information since this video's been made, I'll have my kind of answers to that, and I might have made another video to talk about it. I'm trying out a load of videos at the moment to see what I like producing. I'm enjoying the real-time videos, like the real-time painting. This is a real-time building, some conversions. But I'd like to hear what other people like to watch. I could talk about things that are being released and everything, but there's so many channels that do that. I don't always see the point in duplicating things from other people. But okay, so there's the Venator with its stowage and that head swap. Next thing I'm going to have a look at is my converted Wolfquad. So I have, whoop, as he jumps off, I have that converted driver. I've got to sort out the weapon on the back as well as a little bit of stowage. So let me just grab the stowage that I'm going to put on this one. And this piece is kind of like a mobile turret. So it's a heavy stubber armed Wolfquad. So it can drive around the place to where it's needed and then release a salvo of bullets from the heavy stubber. So first thing that I'm going to do is the arm from the Wolfquad. You can see that the connection on there is different from the heavy stubber from the Venator. I'm not using the heavy stubber from the Gene Stealer kit because I want to try and tie these together with the look of the equipment. So first things first, I'm going to trim that down to flatten off the edge. And then let's just take the driver off. I'm going to glue this turret arm in place and then put the heavy stubber in place as well. So there is that turret arm. So then the next bit, let's put a bit of glue in there and along there. And then let's just hold that in place. There we go. So there we have the heavy stubber there. I don't know why, this kind of reminds me of, I think I had a G.I. Joe quad which had a gun, something similar like that going down the side a long time ago. Right, so the next thing, I want to put this stowage on the back, so this fuel tank. Now what I'm going to have to do is trim off the hook so it lays flat, and then trim off the little bar that was the original stowage point. So I need to carefully cut the back off this. So what I will do at the end of this video, I'm going to put a selection of photos of the models so far, as it's not always clear on the camera exactly what I'm doing, but it'll give you a bit of an idea of the different items and so on. Okay, so that's going to go on there like that. I'd just like to also say another thank you to everyone who's watching my videos at the moment. It's much appreciated. I hope you're all enjoying the content that I'm putting out. So there's a few mould lines and things that I'm going to tidy up later on. But okay, there we have the Enforcer Quad. I'm going to glue the driver down once I've painted it. It's going to be a lot easier to paint when it's like in two separate parts. Okay, so the next bit is the key bit of this video. I want to create an Enforcer on a bike. So I've started putting together one of the Gene Stealer bikes. Let me just go and let the dog out. Okay. And I was thinking about this bike, whether to have the Enforcer on the bike or actually standing next to it. So this Enforcer is going to be armed with a sniper rifle, because the character of this guy, I want him to kind of zip around the battlefield to the spot where he's needed, get off his bike, take the shot, and then get back on his bike and drive off. So I was thinking about actually having him dismounted from his bike on the base, because I don't think I've actually ever seen that before on a vehicle mounted character. They're always sitting on the bike and so on. So the first thing that I want to do is convert this weapon so he's holding it in one hand. Also, head-wise, I'm going for another Cadian head, but this time it's the one with the night vision goggles on his head, for no other real reason that I think it looks quite cool, and I kind of want him to stand out slightly differently. So what I need to do, this hand on the gun I need to replace with the handle of the pistol grip, sorry, of the gun. The pistol grip, the gun grip. So looking at this, I'm just going to carefully trim it off. I'll be really careful because that's really susceptible to breaking the stock of that gun. And then I'm just going to cut the handle off this gun here. Let's try and tidy this ever so slightly. There we go. And a little bit of glue in place, and then that handle, let's just need to shave a little bit out of there. There we go. So I've been thinking about this conversion for a little while, and I've been trying to work out how to actually make the Enforcer sit on the bike, and it was only today I had the thought, why does he have to sit on the bike? Why can't they be dismounted standing next to it? Which then got me thinking. So there is the handle now on that sniper rifle. So I now want to glue this in place so they're holding it against their hip. Just gonna take a little bit of lining up, as the hand isn't designed to go with this arm. Okay, so I'm going to let that just dry for a little bit. I'm going to try and be patient. as I lay it down. Hopefully it'll... Right, I need to stick that on some glue tack or something. Right, let's just stick that down there. There we go. Always have a bit of blue tack handy. So, the bike itself, if this character is going to be dismounted and the bike's going to need to stand there, I'm going to need to firstly take the hand off the handlebar. I'm also going to need to think about a kickstand or something similar. These bikes don't have a kickstand on them, and there's a few other details that I'll think about later on, like the foot pedals and that kind of thing. But firstly, I'm going to sort out the stowage. So to make it match the other vehicles, I'm going to use the Enforcer stowage from the Venator. So I really do like that plastic Venator kit. It's a really nice addition. I do have the Forge World one, and I was going to field them together, but that's so much bigger than the Forge World one. It makes the Forge World one not look as good. I did start with them both side by side and thought, yeah, this works, and the more I had them sitting on the shelf, the more I thought, you know what, it doesn't. So I'm gonna want to hook these in place. Now I'm thinking, how do I want... So I'm gonna have to kind of treat this with a bit of make-believe. There's an exhaust pipe there. I don't want to put a fuel tank on the exhaust pipe, but likewise I'm not sure if I like the water bottle next to the exhaust pipe on there, so I'm going to have to just play with the idea of it's not real and put these on. So let's have... I think again what I'm going to need to do is trim off the hooks from both of these. And if I wasn't meant to, it's a bit late now. And on the bike itself, I'm going to need to trim off the little clip that's on there to hold the original stowage in place. And then let's just stick these in place. So what I'm thinking about as well, because I'm going to have a bare head on the rider, I might put one of the helmets on the back of the bike as well. So it looks like they've just taken off their helmet. Right, I'm going to need to trim that back a bit. I should have thought about that because I had to do that with the Wolf bike. So there we go. There we go. So at the same time, let's grab a spare helmet, and I'm going to put that, yeah, let's just place that there. So there's a little bit of a remnant of the hook on the satchel one. Put some thin glue in there. There we go. So there we now have the side with the satchel and the helmet and the extra fuel tank there. So I'm going to need to trim off that hand, but let's wait for that to dry for a little bit. Let's go back to the actual character. So that gun's almost dry. So what I want to do is trim the ball off the bottom of this head. There we go. And I can actually go down a little bit further with this. There we go. And let's put a dab of glue on the neck. And I'm probably going to need to do a little bit of green stuff work on some of these where I've put these heads on, just to kind of fill in the gaps and kind of just blend it in slightly. But there's that guy just there. So obviously I've got to do their right arm, but what I want to do is see whether this guy's going to go on this side. Actually, I quite like that. Can't really see it from the camera angle, apologies. Or I'm going to go this way round. So whichever... See, I could try and convert an arm to hold the handlebar as he's walking around. Let's have a look at what options I have for hands and arms. See, I do have the stun baton, which has a hand on it. Okay, I'm coming up with an idea. So let's just clip this stun baton off. Whoops. And then, so if, as you can see, there's a hand on the handle just there. And I'm thinking if I replace that hand with the handlebar there, that gives me a possible hand that this guy is holding the handlebar as he gets off. I don't ride motorcycles, so I'm trying to look and see if it looks like a realistic way you'd walk past your bike. I kind of assume you'd get off your bike and you wouldn't be holding just the handlebar. I can always put it on and then cut it off if I don't like it. But it's if I have an arm that will then hold it in place. I mean, okay, that one might. Number 39. Let's have a little look-see. So when that's in place, actually that's quite low, isn't it? Oops. But I do have another hand available actually from another conversion. Let's have a little look. But okay, I'm going to trim off that hand from the handlebar. And I'm going to keep it for a later conversion, because you never know when you're going to need another arm. So if if this goes in place, I don't want to glue it in until I know it's what I want, so I'm trying to just make it stay in place. Oh, careful, nearly pulled that gun off, don't want to do that. Oh, blue tack, of course, I've got some blue tack. So this video is very much me just kind of working this out as I go, so apologies if I'm kind of meandering while I do this. Okay, so let's try this the other way around. If the bike's... No, the gun interferes then, so it's going to have to be this side. Right, what other hand choices have I got? I just realised as well, that would have been the wrong hand. That's a right hand. No, that's a left hand. If I put that on his right hand, he'd have the wrong hand, so that's not going to work anyway. Okay, let's have a look. I mean, there is a pistol hammer, that's not gonna... Right, I've got a hand from another conversion that I did. There it is, I think. I'm moving things all around the place. Here we go. So I did a conversion with this guy. I'll leave a link in the description. And there was this hand spare. And yes, it's him putting his hand out in a kind of a psychic way, but I might just change the thing. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that, just putting a blanket on the dog. I mean, what are that? Oh, okay, let's have a look at the arm choices that I've got. Ah, actually, let's look on another kit. I might have something on another kit that I can use. No, it is a right hand I want. So that's a left, yeah, that's a left hand. I want a right hand. What am I talking about before? So I've got that chainsaw arm. That could work. I'll leave it to one side for now. Let's have a... So I've got the one, there's the one that's holding cuffs. I mean, there's a pistol one. There's like there's the bolter or the shotgun ones. But it's not, the thing is, he's not got his hand high enough. Right, let's get rid of this arm for now. Sorry, I'm kind of just blundering around right now. Okay, welcome back. I've had a bit of thinking time. It's one of these things with these real-time videos, when I'm just jumping into a conversion, it gets to a certain point where I'm kind of thinking, I'm just babbling on screen. So I cut that short, had some thinking time, now I'm back. So while I was thinking, I got one of the hands from a shotgun arm to be holding, let's get it in focus, holding the handlebar. So what's going to be happening is this character is going to be walking next to the bike and just have his hand on the handlebar. I think it's going to look okay. Before I do that though, what I need to do is put some pegs and a kickstand on the bike to just make it look a bit right, I think, in my head. So I'm just going to use these little rectangles of styrene as the pegs. I mean, like I said, I'm not a biker, so I'm kind of using a bit of creative leniency with this. I mean, I may even at some point just take them off and put them back on somewhere else, but okay, now that's okay, that one's okay. I think that glue's spread a bit more than I thought it was going to. Okay, that's okay for those. And what I'm thinking about for a kickstand is actually just a little bit of styrene, and I'm just going to cut a little square that is going to be the foot. And this might not look right. This conversion might end up being undone and put back together, but we shall see. And I've realised I'll probably end up putting this kickstand on the wrong way. Is there a wrong way for a kickstand? I'm not sure. Okay, let's have... So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue the bike in place, then the kickstand will get wedged in place. So I'm looking to just put the bike like that. So if you... I think I said this earlier, but if you do like these real-time videos, please drop a comment, as I don't want to really waste my time making content that people don't like. Does that need to come further forward? That needs to come further forward. There we go. As I look at it, I am liking the way that this is turning out with the dismounted rider. Okay, so let's have a look at the kickstand. I'm thinking, okay, I'm eyeballing it, so about there. Right, that's... oh, it's really tiny and fiddly. Right, what I want to do is just skewer that. Okay, it's a little bit too long. It's going to be one of those games where I take a little bit off at a time, and then suddenly I've taken too much off. Okay, let's... okay, so I need to take just a fraction more off. And then this will go underneath the body. Right, so you're kind of looking down from the top of this. I am thinking of doing some different camera angles soon to kind of let you guys see things from different angles. Okay, let's now move that in place. Okay, so there we have the kickstand on the bike there. I don't know if it should have one on the other side, I'm not too worried for now. So, next job is this arm goes to the right height, but the forearm is in the wrong position. So I'm going to carefully cut this off, tidy this up. Let's glue this upper part of the arm into place before I lose it. Okay, so now we have that just there. Now I'm thinking, whoops, so if I glue that, yeah, if I glue the forearm to the hand, and then I can work out how to line everything up. It may be a bit of green stuff. Who knows? We shall see. Okay, so there it is. Forearm in place. And I think, okay, so the hand is too far round like that. I need to move the hand like that. So hopefully the glue has dried a little bit, so let's just take that off, get a bit of glue on there. And this is really fiddly, doing hand swaps. So let's hold that in place. I bet that's too high, but it doesn't matter, I can move it down. Okay, so I'm looking. Okay, so that needs to turn slightly, but that won't turn slightly without trimming some of the hand off. Sorry if I've gone off camera while I'm doing this. So that needs to go. I am going to need to do some green stuff work on this at some point. And I keep on adding more and more glue to this. The plastic's going to go quite soggy. Ooh, and the arm's moving down. Let's see if I can knock. It's one of those moments. Okay, let's. Okay. Okay. I need to turn that ever so slightly again. So hand needs to stay in the same place, but that needs to turn. And then, okay, I think I've almost got it. So I'm going to need to do some green stuff work, but I need to tack this in place where it is. Okay, so let's just glue his feet in place. I don't know how this looks. I'd appreciate any comments about the pose. Let's just tack this in for now. It's going to be one of those ones where I will have to come back to it and add some green stuff. But for now, let's just imagine there isn't a gap. There we go. Okay. So I think I said it earlier, I will put photos of all of these at the end of the video. Let's bring this one closer to the camera so you can see. So here is the Enforcer next to the bike. Like I said, I'm going to put some pictures at the end of this one. I would appreciate any constructive criticism on this one, whether the pose is right or whatever. I can always chop bits off and redo things. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been quite fun doing an on-the-fly conversion like this whilst finishing off some other bits. But for now, yeah. For now. So I'm going to leave it there now. Let all of the glue dry and everything. I've said this a lot of times already, but there'll be photos at the end so you can have a look at each of them in detail. But for now, thanks for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.